Hello, welcome to NEWS.am. This is Factor of Power, and today I'm joined by international relations specialist from Tehran, Iran, Mr. Ehsan Mohammedian. Mr. Mohammedian, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me with you in your program.
Mr. Mohammedian, what's going on in Iran right now after the Israeli large-scale offensive and the counterattacks of the Islamic Republic?
The Iranian people are generally in their normal state and have not faced any serious problems. The Israeli attacks that are mostly through drones and small missiles that are launched by some traitors within the country have united all the people, and Iranians of all mindsets and beliefs have united in defending their country. After the initial shock of Israeli attack, the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran have returned to 100% readiness and are defending the country well. The downing of Israeli F-35 warcrafts is also an important achievement for Iran, and Iran will defend itself until a deterrent is established. Iran follows the principles of conventional warfare and attempts to target just military and intelligence sites despite Israel's barbaric nature. But if Israel attacks Iran's refineries and critical infrastructures like what Israel is doing right now, we will respond decisively as we did it last night and attacked Haifa refinery. Iran's policy is active defense, and if the enemy attacks Iran, Iran will pursue the enemy, and in addition to defending itself, we will attack the enemy and punish it. This is Iran's behavior with all aggressors, and if other countries support Israel, we will punish them as well, and this includes the United States. This decisive decision of the United States has been communicated to all countries through diplomatic channels. Iran's national security has no red line, and preserving it is more important than anything else for Iran. If someone wants to harm the Islamic Republic of Iran, we have no red line against it. There are still many surprises to come, and the punishment of Israel will continue until we think that it's enough.
Mr. Mohammedian, Israel killed several top military commanders of the armed forces of Iran, including the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, trying to weaken Iran's resistance. What do you think? How heavy are those losses for Iran?
You know, Iran has not only not been weakened, but has multiplied its power to confront the enemy. Most of the commanders who were martyred were of retirement age and were supposed to retire within the next year at the latest, and their replacements has already been determined. But God showed that mercy, and they were martyred in the defense of their homeland. The replaced people are very capable, they are intelligent and experienced, and most of them have learned many lessons from the Iran-Iraq war, the battle against ISIS, Daesh, and the defense of the resistance front in the Middle East. Iran lost hundreds of commanders in the 8-year war with Iraq, and in the summer of 1981, after the victory of Islamic Revolution, due to repeated assassinations, many leaders of the Islamic Republic were martyred and assassinated by enemies. Therefore, Iran has a lot of experience and will not be seriously harmed by these types of desperate and brutal assassinations. Iran is also very strong at the moment, and if these people were, and of course these people were valuable people, we are very sorry that we have missed them, but we have other capable and self-sacrificing people that they are going to continue their path, and it's not a matter to be worried about.
Was it a surprise for Iran that Israel would undertake such a severe attack, Mr. Mohammedian?
Honestly, both Iran and Israel knew they could hurt each other, and Iran was waiting for an Israeli attack. Of course, Israel carried out these attacks using drones and its mercenaries inside Iran. These attacks were similar to the recent drone attacks by Ukraine on Russia, and Iran's vastness gave Israeli spies a place to hide themselves. The fundamental issue is the components of power. Iran is an old, powerful country with strategic depth. Iran has a long history of civilization, but Israel is a fake, small country with no strategic depth and infrastructure, and it would not last a week without the support of United States, Europe, Turkey, and Baku. If Turkey and Baku do not export oil to Israel, they cannot survive. This is so important. Israel fighter jets will not have fuel to fly to Iran and manage their attacks without the help of Baku and Turkey. But Iran has enough oil, gas, and minerals. Israel has never fought a large, powerful country, and its last serious confrontation with Arab countries dates back to 1967. And it lasted not more than a few days. Israel's mistake is that it thinks that Iran is a militant group. And they think we are like Hamas or Hezbollah, but Iran is a large country. Iran is a strong state with a strategic depth, with experience and diverse military forces, and Israel's calculations about Iran are totally wrong. Even if Iran does not defend itself, the destruction of all of Iran's important infrastructures and facilities will take more than a year for Israel. Israel has never experienced such an atmosphere in its wars. Iran will defend itself definitely to the end without anyone's help and will treat Israel with courtesy. Iran is different from Hezbollah and Hamas. We respect them, but Iran's painful responses have made Israel understand this difference well, and during the other nights of our attacks, they understand it better.
Rafael Grossi, the chief of the International Atomic Energy Agency, announced that the heart of the Iranian nuclear industry, Natanz Center for Uranium Enrichment, is completely destroyed as a result of the strikes. Other nuclear facilities have been attacked as well. Israel threatens to continue the attacks until the nuclear facilities are completely eliminated. What do you think? Does Israel have enough capabilities to reach that goal, especially without the support and direct engagement of the United States?
Honestly, they are joking because Natanz has no reactors and its centrifuges will be replaced if they are damaged. Natanz is one of Iran's peaceful nuclear sites, and most of these sites are operating normally. The Fordo facility is also completely safe underground and under high mountains and will not be damaged even by an atomic bomb. Even if Iran's nuclear sites are stopped, Iran has stored enough enriched uranium to be safe and to do whatever it wants. Therefore, Israel will not achieve anything by attacking Iran's nuclear sites. Israel cannot withstand Iranian attacks, and its small infrastructure and lack of strategic depth, as I said, are serious problems for Israel. Israel has a gas field and a few refineries and few power plants, and it cannot continue the war for a long time, and everybody knows that. Iran itself has sufficient domestic resources, and even in the event of extensive and prolonged sanctions, Iran can meet its own needs in a way that will last during the war, even the war continues for a long time. Therefore, the right question is vice versa. You have to ask me, can Israel, a small an insignificant and insufficient and damaged country with no facilities and infrastructure survive for a few weeks against Iran or not? This is the question that you have to ask. And it's better to ask Israelis and they know the answer.
Do you see a risk of direct engagement of the United States in the strikes on Iran?
You know, the US has repeatedly denied its direct involvement in the Israeli attacks, but it already provides intelligence and logistical support to the Israeli regime, and everybody knows that in Iran. And Iranian Foreign Ministry said this morning that we cannot believe that United States is not helping Israelis. So, therefore, we know that they support Israelis and they are involved in Israelis' crimes. It is unlikely that the US will involve itself in supporting Israel any longer or in a larger scale, because the chances of any peaceful resolution of the Iranian nuclear crisis through negotiations have been lost, and Iran will develop its nuclear program. The US is already worried about Iranian retaliatory attacks on its bases. The US could not even win against the attacks of the resistance forces in Yemen, as you know, and United States was defeated despite repeated bombings of Yemen. Therefore, it does not think of confronting Iran, as far as I know.
Iran threatens to strike the military bases and vessels of the United States, the Great Britain, as well as France if they continue support Israel in intercepting Iranian strikes. What do you think? Could it bring the region to a large-scale war?
I think if United States and some European countries commit this foolishness, the world's economic and security situation will be disrupted. Russia, China, and some other countries will also be involved in the war, and I think World War III will begin. Therefore, it's unlikely that these countries will make this fatal mistake.
Mr. Mohammedian, do you see a risk that Israel may try to destabilize the situation within Iran and in order to topple the ruling elite or something other?
I think that maybe they think that they have to destabilize Iran through trying to topple the Islamic Republic of Iran. But the point is that during the history, all the time, when a foreign enemy attacks Iran, if you read the history, you see that all the time Iranians are united against foreign enemy. So there is no chance for Israel to topple Iranian system or destabilize Iran. If you read the history, after the victory of Islamic Revolution, we had all kind of plots and assassinations, coup, foreign intervention, wars, sanctions, everything you think we had against Iran. At that time, we were weak, and but they didn't succeed because Iranians are united. Right now, we are more powerful. We have our missiles, we have our defense technology, we are self-dependent, we are ready to sacrifice, and you have to know about Iranian Shia ideology that maybe it's confusing, but we enjoy pain. We enjoy to suffer for our country. This is our ideology. The Shia ideology of Islam never escape from being dead, from being martyred, to succeed and achieve our goals. So when we have this kind of moral, when we have this kind of solidarity to sacrifice ourselves for our country and for our religion, nobody can stop us and nobody can defeat us.
Mr. Mohammedian, Azerbaijan assured Iran yesterday that its territory wouldn't be used by any third country, by Israel, to attack and undertake other actions against the Islamic Republic of Iran. What do you think? Is Iran worried about the possible engagement of Azerbaijan in Israeli actions against Iran?
At present, I think right now it's unlikely that Baku will take military action in support of Israel. As Aliyev said, we are not going to intervene or let Israelis use our airspace against Iran. Iran has issued the necessary warnings to Baku through diplomatic channels and has made it clear that Iran will respond to Israel's misuse of Baku territory against Iran. Iran is vigilant and will never allow action against it from the Baku borders and will neutralize any operational assistance to Israel from within Baku's territory upon detection.
And finally, do you see a risk that Azerbaijan could use this situation and attack the Sunni region of Armenia to seize the so-called Zangezur corridor?
You know, the likelihood of Baku attacking Sunni province is not high at the moment. Israel's repeated attacks on Tabriz, the frequent flights of Israeli drones, and the propaganda activities of the Pan-Turk supported by Turkey and Baku have increased awareness in Iran. And Turkey and Baku know that if they commit such a foolish act, the situation in the region will become extremely inflamed and the situation will get out of their control. Of course, first of all, the Armenian government is responsible for maintaining the security of the Sunni province and must prove its opposition to any aggression against this province by strengthening its military capabilities and holding new joint military maneuvers with Iran. Armenia knows that occupation of Syunik by Turkey and Baku means the end of Armenia's existence. Armenia must protect itself and then ask Iran for help so that the Iranian armed forces can come to Armenians' aid and increase the deterrence of Armenia. But Iran will not fight instead of any country, including Armenia, just as it will not fight instead of Syrian army. The aggression of Turkey and Baku against Syunik definitely will cause Iran, India, and somehow France to intervene in favor of Armenia. So in this situation, I think it's not a chance for Baku and Turkey to try to intervene in Syunik region.
Mr. Moavedian, thank you very much for this interesting conversation.
My pleasure, thank you too, and I hope we can continue this kind of interviews.
Of course, thank you very much. This was Ehsan Moavedian, an international relations specialist from Tehran, Iran.